guidelines how we should pray, how we should position something, how people should stand. You cannot just stand just like regular prayers. We have some hadith which outlines those conditions, guidelines. So first thing, if you notice in this figure, assume that this green person is the imam and this one is brothers, males. Who are these? Females. I don't have Photoshop, so it's hijab, yeah, black color hijab.
That's the difference.
So that's the regular salah. That's a sunnah. That women are in the back and men are in the front. Children maybe in the middle, with men and women. So that's the imam. And then here we have the deceased person's bier or coffin. This is a male coffin. And how do I tell that? How can I say? You see the imam, I drew an arrow here. The head and the head, they have to be aligned. They have to be aligned. And you see one more thing. Feet is here and the head is this way, right way. That is also should be remembered. That's the common practice we have. Some people do it the other way. It goes against the common practice, even though we don't have a hadith which says do it this way. But putting it on the right side is preferable. Why? Because everything we do in Islam, we do it on the right side, right? Preference. So if the deceased turns his head right side, he will be facing the Qibla as well. So this way is better. Female sisters, same exact thing, same arrangement. But what's the difference here?
Imam standing.
Imam is standing in the middle of the deceased sister. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. The rest everything is same. Right? The third condition is when we have multiple bodies. We have male, female, boys, girls, everybody. What should we do in that case? One way is to just pray individually. That is allowed. We'll get there. But the other way is that you align them. And there is a specific hadith for that as well. The sunnah is that, just assume this is the imam. Woman should be the farthest and the man should be the closest to the imam. And boy should be after man and then the girl and then the woman. Just as in prayer, it's the reverse order. How you make rows, it's the reverse order. Closest to imam is always man. Again, the alignment, if you see, whether it's a girl or a woman, both are in the middle. Okay? And if it's a boy or a man, head should be in the same line. So that is the hadith. And this, okay, one situation. What if there's like too much crowd and you cannot form a lot of lines? Can you stand beside imam on the right side or left side? Can you do that? If it is crowded, the scholars say it is okay, not a problem. And also, why do we have this thing though? Why should women be in the middle and why men head should align? We don't have a specific hadith mentioning why it should be done. It's sunnah. But maybe one reason scholars said that probably for people to know that this is man, this is woman. Why should people know? Because we make dua in our the Salatul Janazah, right? So in there you can probably make the gender specific dua. So that's why it helps that way. But Allahu Alam why that is the case, but it's the sunnah. That's what we know. So now you are praying Salatul Janazah. There are you're forming rows. How many rows should you have?
Odd number.
What's the minimum?
3.
You got to have at least three rows behind the imam. And what if you only have 3 people apart from imam? How do you stand? So the line cannot have only one person. That's the basic rule. Whether you're praying the regular prayer or Salatul Janazah, you cannot have one person in one row. Somebody should be there. So the minimum is if there are like 6 people, you can have 2, 2, 2 and 1 imam. So that is the best 3 rakah. what happens is when you have 3 lines, there's a hadith that in Abu Dawud, Hasan hadith, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whenever a Muslim dies and 3 lines of Muslims pray janazah for him, he is granted forgiveness. He is granted forgiveness. So we should aim for 3. And what was the hadith? Anybody remembers? What did I say? If 40 people or 100 people pray, what happens? Shifa, intercession. And this one is forgiveness. A little different. What if there are only 2 people apart from him? How should they stand? Like if one was man and one was woman, how should they stand? You have to form 2, and obviously in one lane is just one person. That's a special case, but that is fine. Again, that the same hadith that I mentioned, that Abu Talha and Sulaim radiallahu anh, they, when they pray in the house, that's how they pray. Everybody was in one line. But in masjid, scholars say that there is a difference. You cannot have, maybe you have just 6 people, for example. So you try to form 3 lines. But in masjid, it's a different ruling. Scholars say that the first command should be fulfilled. That is, in masjid, the lanes have to be complete. But if you are praying in musalla, it's an open-ended row. So that is fine. You can break it up into 2, 2, 2. But in masjid, they say it has to be full. And then a second, third line. That's another command takes precedence over it. Distance between people. So if another person is standing besides me, does he have to be close to me, or can he be, can we have a gap? So in regular prayers, we see everybody should be very close. There should be no gap. Shoulder and foot, everything should be no gap. So this prayer is different, right? No ruku and no sajda in this Salatul Janazah. But still, the scholars say there should be no gap at all. Same ruling as regular prayer. What about the rows? You see here the people are praying the regular prayers. We have at least some space so that people can do sajda. But in Salatul Janazah, as I said, there is no ruku, there is no sajda. Are we still required to have that much distance? No, you don't have to. You can come very close to each other. So, since no ruku, it's very possible, very easy to pray such a prayer. So, but however, when you can come close, but you have to still remember, you have to maintain straight lines. Again, no gaps. Shoulders should be well aligned with each other.